We are equal, right? We all walk the same way. We all want the same things, to be loved, right? To be accepted, to be validated. And once we all realize this, man and woman, we will live in a much better world, a much better world.
Hola, soy de la República Dominicana. Llegué a este país en el 2009. Soy madre de 3 hijos. Siempre he sido el sustento de mi familia, pero en el 2021 fui diagnosticada con cáncer de seno, lo cual pues realmente cambió mi vida. Fui sometido a 2 cirugías y después tuve tratamiento de quimioterapia. Esta situación de mi cáncer cambió mi vida realmente. Fui sometida a la quimio, pero eso, aunque me tumbó mi pelo, para mí es nada comparado con el beneficio de sanación que tengo ahora. Le exhorto a todas las mujeres que se hagan siempre sus chequeos, porque eso puede salvar vida. Gracias a Dios ya estoy mejor y estoy orgullosa de ser mujer.
I'm from Sierra Leone, West Africa, born in Freetown. And it's not easy being a woman, or an immigrant woman, of all things. I was raised in America by an immigrant mom and an American dad. And I always knew that a woman of color would always have challenges here, not only in the country, but in the world. And it's not easy growing up. I was raised by a single mom. So I always watched her struggles, and I made her struggles my own struggles. As a woman and as me, it hasn't been easy all my life. My biggest challenge has been me establishing my professional career. I'm an advanced practice nurse. I've been a nurse for over 22 years, and I've been in healthcare for 29 years. And it just is not easy. I'm juggling a household with 3 young children. I was married, but I knew that my marriage, it wasn't working, and I chose to become a single mom. And it's not a choice that everyone chooses, but I knew that with God, my support system, friends and family, I was able to balance my career and taking care of my children. And I don't want women to forget that they need to achieve their dreams. And you can still raise your children, you can still serve your community, you can still do a lot of things that you want to do and aspire to do in your life. It's not easy, but it can be done. And I just know that I believe my life experiences have become an example for a lot of women that I interact with in the world, not only in my local community. And I just don't want young girls to give up. I want them to always look at their situation and they know that they have options. You have options. And we can become the Michelle Obamas, and we can become these big prominent people in life. And you can do it with support, but to go for your dreams.
Single American-born woman. All my life I have been supporting myself, educating myself. Started at a young age with a strict family background, but the ethics, the values that were given to me, I didn't realize how strong they were until I got older. I appreciate them now, which I didn't before. I was a little bit the middle child, rebellious. If I would challenge my father, my mother would kick me under the table, not to start any issues. But at the same time, I also had withdrawn. I wasn't outspoken. I was afraid to take steps. Now, as I'm 20, 30, 40 years later, I'm starting to open up and challenge some of these subtle issues that I've had to deal with. I was in a man's world. I was in design. I was in school. I'm in my current situation where I live, where there was always somebody putting me down that was a man. But now I'm saying, hey, wait a minute. I'm me. I grew. I'm not stupid. I just so happy inside that now I'm taking steps to improve myself. And I hope other ladies will do the same.
Llegué a este país al final del año 83 con intenciones de tener un gran sueño americano. Entonces me puse a estudiar, terminando la high school. Enseguida quise envolverme en los asuntos de colegios, pero mi mamá tenía sus otros hijos en República Dominicana, los cuales son mis hermanos. Entonces, cuando iba a empezar la escuela, me dijo: Elsa, necesito que trabajemos para que me ayude a traer mis hermanos. Sin pensarlo dos veces, me puse a trabajar para ayudar con la fertility. Y eso es un asunto que se hace aquí para poder traer tu familia. Es cierto que tuvimos tiempos un poco difíciles, pero siento que valió la pena. Es cierto que me sacrifiqué mis sueños de seguir con los estudios. Nunca más volví al colegio. Ese fue el sacrificio que yo tuve que pagar. Pero ¿quién lo podía hacer si no era la madre? Solamente una mujer puede. Una mamá es la única persona que puede hacer todo eso. Puede cocinar, puede trabajar, puede venir a la casa, limpiar la casa, puede llevar a los niños a la escuela. Solamente una madre puede hacerlo. En este caso, solo una mujer. Así que yo me siento orgullosa de haberlo logrado y le doy gracias a Dios por todo eso.
I was born from the Philippines. I grew up with my mom and my dad. I was like 12 years old. My mom told me I'm gonna go to America. I said, what, America? What will happen to me? I'm the eldest, by the way. Then my mom pursued, because in the Philippines, we have to be supported by education. So my mom told me that my work here is not enough for the three of you to finish college. So I said, yes, why? Okay, I can handle at 12 years old. Then my mom flew, and I'm by myself. I am the mom and the dad at the same time. I can't believe when I'm looking back that, oh wow, God is so amazing that I did it. Actually, I did not have the chance to be teenager. I had to go adult. I have to prepare for my sisters, everything. Like every other woman, I struggle too. The journey of having a baby, to conceive a baby. I know some of the women, they doesn't have a trouble conceiving, but I do. Got first miscarriages, and another miscarriages, and to another miscarriages. Imagine 3 miscarriages. I don't know if I am more married, a lot of miscarriages than other, but I'll just let you know that makes my heart broken, because it's just really hard. I see my husband cried, and it's just so painful to me that how I cannot give him one. That's why I said, Lord, help me. He doesn't even know that I saw him crying. But it really, every time I thought of those 3, my heart is still crying. And I want you to all know that I did not stop. I prayed, I cried to the Lord, and I'm telling you right now, each and every one of you that believe, because our God is a big God, and He turned the impossible to possible, and I am so happy now. I have one. He gave me one, and she's 7 years old now, and it's just so amazing. We have a big God. Just trust, encourage, and I leave this Bible verse to all of you in Psalms 37:4. Delight into the Lord, and He will give the desires of your heart. God bless you all, and thank you for listening. I hope this story of mine can encourage you not to give up and to trust in the Lord.
I'm from India. I grew up in India and I had really good childhood, very happy going child, and my family background was really good. I never had any experience between my brother and my sister that I'm not given any opportunity to express myself. And that opened up a whole new world for me, that when I grew up, I wanted to become a civil engineer. I want to work in a man's world. After I got married, I still wanted to go to college in India, do my master's while I was waiting for my visa. Then I got my visa, I came to America, and I found a job that was again in the man's world. That was an inspection company where all the men, I was the first woman engineer inspecting on a construction job. Working with guys was very difficult, very challenging. But I pushed myself. I was like, no, if my parents told me that men and women are equal, then I cannot stop myself just because of other people, other guys who are telling me that I shouldn't belong to this field. That's not right. I fought for myself.
Hi, I am African American. I was born and raised in New York City here in Manhattan. My struggles as a Black woman has been out of this world. First, let me start off by saying I became a single parent of 2, and being able to find a job that will accept me with children. They always look at me and say, you won't be able to work. We can't take a chance with you because you're a single mother. And it's always going to be calling out of work, or it's going to be the child is sick. So I've never gotten a chance to work a job that I wanted to. Even though I went to college and got a degree in business, I still wasn't able to get hired. So I came into working for myself, doing hair, which is I presently do now. I lived in a shelter for a year because I couldn't get an apartment. I had the money, I had the credit, but they looked at me and said, how you, as a single mother of 2 children, is going to be able to afford to pay rent? They said you need 2 income just to pay rent. So I decided to move to Jersey, which I got a shot in Jersey, but I had to work 2 jobs just to show that I could make 2 incomes by myself to take care of the children and feed them. Then I got a 3rd job just to take care of transportation so I could travel back and forth. So I was on my own taking care of my children. And it was okay because we made it, we survived, we held on to our faith and belief, and we kept going knowing that God's able to do all things. He gave us the strength and the energy that we need, and we use that. And I teach my children to this day, there's nothing you can't do. So as a woman, we have to continue to fight past. Laws are changing. We're standing up now for each other, and we're making changes. We're doing it different.
Hi, I'm from China. Many years ago, I came here. There is a chance I went to looking for a job, and it was a store. When I walk in the store, I take one walk, and I say, one day I will have a little shop just like this. And I started that job, work my way up, taught myself English, read books on the train when I go to work, and how many years? 13 years later, I opened my own store. I opened 1, I opened 2, I had a 3. That was very, very hard. But as a woman, I did it. And there are so many people like men that take their head off, give me the salute. But just one thing I'm missing for so many years. Yes, I did it. I was a success. But one thing missed in my life is spend the time with my children. A few days ago, my son asked me, Mom, if give her a chance, time to go back, what would you like? Do you like us around you? Or like now, we all moving out the house? And I say, if I give it a chance, I am and do what I have to do for life, for provide, and also I want to spend more time with you guys, which is my children. That's what's missing.
What kind of a mom you are? Oh, I would never allow my kid to do that. Oh, that woman doesn't know how to be a mother. If you can't handle her out, why to bring her out? Why God gave her a kid when she doesn't know how to raise her? Do I really deserve to hear all these comments while I'm trying to teach my daughter her behavioral issues? I'm a single mom raising an autistic daughter. It's already challenging as a single mother to raise an autistic daughter. But the most challenging thing for me personally is the people around me. I'm one of you that can't be on the camera for many reasons, but I'm just trying to pass a message to all the women like me. As a woman, I had to learn it hard way to teach myself to ignore all these comments so I could teach my child something. To teach her how to behave among people, I have to bring her around people. By keeping her home, she will never get a chance to learn anything.
I grew up in Brooklyn. I'm an American citizen. I grew up in an Italian home. When I was growing up, the women in my home were made to feel that they had to service men, they had to do everything for man. Okay, that's how the Italian families are. The oldest son is the one who's cherished. And so that was always a challenge for me because I beat to my own drum. I'm a creative person and I like to just do what I'm gonna do creatively. And so I was told the most important thing was to get married, to have children. And so as I grew older, I realized that I could do a lot of things on my own. And so I went to college, and then I started a career in fashion. And from there I met my husband and we were married. And I had some infertility problems and we adopted 2 children. And what was happening is I was finding that I wanted to fix everything the way my parents taught me I had to be when I was younger. And that was a very type A controlling personality. And what happened was when I realized that I couldn't fix anything, that I could only fix myself and not the people around me, I became very depressed and very anxious. And it was extremely crippling for me. Extremely crippling for me. And so what happened was a dear friend of mine, she could not stand to see me this way. She took my hand and she dragged me to the Christian church because I've always had a very, very, very strong love of God and a very strong love of music. And when I went into the Christian church, the first 30 minutes was the most amazing music that I have ever heard, and I was hooked. And I kept going, and I kept going, and I kept going. And my faith got stronger and stronger and stronger. And I was able to deal with my depression without taking medications, because I tried all that, going to therapy, taking medication, and none of that was working because it had to come from within. And going to church and having faith gave me the realization that I could lift it up. I didn't have to be in control anymore. I could give it to God. I could give it to God, and then I could have peace of heart. we should never live in fear. We should never let what other people's expectations of who we should be dictate who we should be. God wants us to be passionate. God wants us to fly on eagle's wings, right? And so if we are scared and we walk through life and we think it's a man's world, which it is, it may always be a man's world, because my theory is that man has always looked at women as physical, sexual beings. And we live in a flesh world where people want to dominate and people want to control. And so I feel there will always be inequality in the workplace, even though women work harder than men. I see it where I work. People work harder than men where I work. And yet they don't get treated with the same respect and they don't get treated with the same salary. And that's because it's all about power and domination. And I feel the answer to that is that we have to all see ourselves the way God sees ourselves. I see myself first as a child of God, then I see myself as a human being, and then I see myself as a woman. My gender comes last, not first. So this way, if I view you and you and you and you and you as a child of God and a sister and a brother to me, I am never going to treat you with disrespect. So until we change the way we think about each other, inequality will always be here. Will always be here.
By being born as a girl, I believe you are enrolled into stereotypes. Those stereotypes represent a lot of challenges because it gives people the opportunity to judge you and make a whole idea about who you are, who they think we are. And I think that's something that is not okay, because as a teenager, for what I have experienced already, there's a lot of things that we go through. Sometimes people judge you because we have a relationship, because we don't have a relationship, because we want to make part of something, because we dress some type of way, because I talk some type of way. So they think that I'm this type of person just because of what they see. They made an idea about who I am because of how I look, you know? And I mean, that's something that is not okay. That's something that it should be changed.
You to make sure that you achieve those goals by getting yourself educated. Go to college, finish school, open those businesses, and make sure that you have a strong support system. It could be your teacher, it could be your pastor, your mom, your priest, it could be a godmother or even a best friend. But we want little girls around the world to know that education is top priority in our world for us to succeed.
Esa situación de cáncer me ha dado mucha depresión, lo cual me hacía llorar constantemente. Yo no lloraba por el cáncer, sino lloraba por la situación que es lo cara que es la vida aquí en Nueva York y sin poder trabajar como antes lo hacía.
Women that go through a lot, different day, different story, behind the door, you know, we cry so many times. But you just have to be strong, wipe your tear, and next day, just facing the world again.
Entonces, yo ahora tenía una gran meta. La gran meta que tenía era educar a mis niños. Yo sola con 3 niños varones en este país. Pero nosotros, las mujeres, podemos hacerlo. No necesitamos que un hombre nos dé un dinero o que nos diga exactamente cómo salir adelante con nuestros hijos. Si yo lo puedo hacer, todas lo podemos hacer.
So women go through different phases of their lives, and they have so many different opportunities during that life, but they are not getting that opportunity at the right time because they are always taking care of their family. They never look for themselves. But sometimes at certain time they have to stop that And respect goes both ways. If they give respect, they should receive respect at the same time.
Women, we have a tendency of wearing our feelings on our sleeves, and we never show the pain that's really within, because we have to pretend like everything's okay, especially for the family. We gotta smile, but inside we're crying, and it's okay to cry. Let the tears flow, let the smiles just keep smiling, because it's going to get better, and it will get better.
My takeaway, and I'm hoping everyone else's takeaway from this interview, I'm in my trimester of my life, and I still have passion, and I still have ideas and ambitions to go out and fulfill all these hobbies and goals that I have. And I just want women to realize that it doesn't make a difference how old you are. You always have something to contribute. Because Pablo Picasso said that the secret to life is finding your talent and to share it forward. And I'm a big believer in that, no matter how old you are. So God bless everyone.